I do have a problem. I've seen a lot of campaign like LGBT or feminism, and then there's a veganism, things like that. I mean, they should be good, right? They have a good intention, they have a good purpose, they have a good mission. But why people still despise or still trying to trashing them because of their movement? I mean, what went wrong? Let's see. Let's start off with the reason. Many of these movements have a really good intention. Again, they're trying to bring up a problem and then trying to solve it. Like for example, LGBT, they are supporting people with a different sexual preference or different gender. And the feminism, it is actually woman empowerment, which is really good. And then there's a veganism, which being vegan, you know, live a life healthy and then trying to reduce a meat consumption as a diet. And some of them are really brings up this animal right or animal abuse kind of a thing, which also great. But when I look into that, they have some kind of a problem the way how they campaign or doing their movement, or yeah, at least promote their movement, saying like, we have this movement, we support these people, we are here to embrace all the people that we exist and we proud of what we are. Instead of doing that, they do this kind of a not shady, it is actually just really bad. For example, there's this TikTok video saying that
if you refuse to date a gay person, you're homophobic. Stop cherry picking who you decide to date.
Why? I mean, it's coming back to sexual preference, right? Why do you why do you need to sex shaming or gender shaming me? The other thing, like a vegan, hey, let's go vegan because we have this benefit, or we can do this. If you are lactose intolerant or something like that, oh, you can go vegan. One of the movement really did good. For example, the Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger. It is great because they made a meat but not from meat. But instead of doing that, they just trashing on people who eats meat, like, oh, if you're eating meat, then you're Hitler. There's an animal holocaust. There's a concentration camp. Don't get me wrong, some of them are really flipped up if you really look into that, and then how the chicken was produced and things like that. But that doesn't mean when people eat meat from a good meat, then you trashing on them because they are eating meat. This brings up to the second point, which is environment. Wait, what the Every time a positive movement was made, there's gotta be someone who leads or who runs it. Someone who dictate and also welcoming a new participant. And basically just organize all of that. I might be wrong, but all of this movement, there's gotta be organization behind it. Or organization who organize all of this thing. Bunch of people gathers around and then plan something, and then boom, there's a movement. So with that, I could use DNC Barnlund, I hope I didn't butcher the name, about the organization environment. That's why there's an environment here. There are three implications from the concept of organization. There is an identity, there's an image, and there is a reputation. Identity, a message created by the organization towards all the people who trying to learn the organization itself. Image, interpretation from who receiving the message. And then there's a reputation, which is accumulation from all image, and then they trying to make a definition or basically judge them by all of this image and creating a perception towards this organization. It was explained here is that accumulation from a decent amount of image, creating a definition about how the organization responds to the constituent. Correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't speak English and I didn't learn this subject in English. So when three of these things are filled with identity, radical, image, fanatic, reputation, this is hot garbage. This is stupid. Sure enough that you're going to have tough time dealing with the ocean of negativity. But then how though? How do we fix all of this thing? Well, at this point, it is going to be really difficult to drain and clean the sea. You have to rebrand yourself and then fix the public perception and get a good reputation. It is ironic to see all of this good movement started with a good intention, but then crashing down into one of the flammable mess. Or it's not really like a toxic, but it's just flammable mess. It's really easy to lit them up and destroys everything. As good as this organization, I believe that the organization already did good or doing fine. The problem isn't in the organization, but rather in its community. And yeah, surprise, surprise, it is the community who made all of this or making all of this become a flammable mess. The way that organization, without generalizing them, are doing great to show the message or delivering the message to the public. But the community, oh my lord, it is heavily populated by polluted, and they did their part wrong. To bring an example, do you remember the internet beloved English teacher, Miss Karen? What did Miss Karen do wrong? One, of course, her image isn't representing the veganism, but rather an unorthodox way to be vegan. Instead of questioning like, is Jesus vegan? Or singing eating animal is wrong, or even doing smoke your carrot, if you still remember that, you could make a video like asking how much water costs to produce meat, or can you survive into the wild as a vegan, or maybe just made a video, I spent 3 years being a vegan, here's the story. She could make a good content. She have this cloud, she have this all attention, but she just did wrong. She promote the veganism or life of a vegan in the wrong way. You could make an education video, like look entertaining, because there's a bunch of education video that is entertaining, instead of trashing to what you didn't believe or what you didn't stand for. The easiest way to say this, if you couldn't do it like Mark Rober or William Osman, then be like Dr. Mike or only JS. They bring education to entertain you, and called entertainment. Speaking of movement, have you heard about TEAMSEAS? Yeah, me too. And this is going to be the sequel. We're going to take a walk. For real.
Do you like sea? Well, me too. Look at that. You know what I didn't like? Trash. Fun fact, my country is one of the biggest countries that always trashing on the ocean, or the sea at this matter. It's not an ocean, right?
It's a sea.
It's a sea, yeah. Throwing trash on the sea. 8 million metric tons of trash have been throwing out of the sea for a year. It's a per year. It's 8 million. 8. Let me remind you, 8 million is like more than 1,000 whales. More like 5,000 blue whales plus into the sea. It's the weight. I'm talking about the weight, of course. And if we didn't do anything about it, just guess what? There will be no ocean. There will be no sea. There will be no sequel for Finding Dory, or in that matter, what is that movie again called? Shark Tale? Yeah, there will be no sequel for Shark Tale. Do you want that? So there's a 2 guys or more has planned something to do about it, to save the ocean, to save the sea, to save the sequel. And that 2 guys is a mrbeast and Mark Rober. So mrbeast and Mark Rober has planned to make a new movement to the sequel again. We're talking a lot about sequel of a TEAMSEAS called TEAMSEAS. I have something. It's supposed to be a wave, by the way, but yeah, the mission simple. We will remove 30 million pounds of trash out of the ocean. They will be the trash got butt kicked out of the ocean or the seas at this matter. But then you ask, what if I didn't want to clean out all of this trash, all of this thing? Well, guess what? We'll do it. So yeah, donate to .org and give us your money so we can clean up the sea. That is TEAMSEAS, TEAMSEAS.org, and donate right now. Do your part, boys. Don't let me down. Do your part. Be a human. Be a community. So yeah, that's about it. So see you in the TEAMSEAS. Yeah, that's it. Let's clean up this now.